Hello, I'm David, and today we're going to talk about double braid splicing. Okay, so we have double braid rope, 1/2 inch, made of polyester cover, polyester core. First thing you want to do is make a baseline mark at the bitter end. From the baseline mark, you want to 1 fid length down and make a mark. So from mark A, you form the desired eye size, and we want our eye to be about that big. Now we're going to go to mark B and bunch the rope up like that, and we're going to extract the core from here. Easiest way to do this is pry the cover strands, cover yarns open, pull on the core, bend the rope sharply, and the core comes right out. Okay, at this point we need to go up about an arm's length up the rope towards the standing part and tie an eye in the line. Now you want to grab the core and milk the cover up against that knot. You want to milk it all the way up against the knot. The cover's bunched up, and what we're doing is we're zeroing the cover and the core. We're getting all the excess slack, because in polyester and nylon double braid ropes, the core and the cover work together to share the load. We'll make a mark where the core exits the rope. Before we get too far along, we want to take the end of the cover, take our scissors and cut at a 45-degree angle. Make a nice taper, short taper. And as neatly and tightly as possible, you want to make a nice long piece of tape tightly on the cover. Now we want to do the same thing to the core. Now we go to our 0 mark where the core exited the cover, and we're going to pull out on the core and expose more core. Now we're going to go 1 short fid length. Notice the marks on the fid and make 2 dots. So short fid length is from here to here. From the short fid length mark, we're going to go 1.5 feet down the core and make 3 marks. So from mark 2 to mark 3 is a 1 full fid length and a 1/2 fid length. Now I'm going to take the other fid and I'm going to insert my cover, and what you want is a nice entrance. We're going to take the fid and go in at mark 2 and out, exit mark 3. So we're going to run this cover in at mark 2, and notice how I bunched the core up to make the entrance easy. So I go a little bit and then I smooth the excess around. I find mark 3, and anywhere in that general vicinity I exit. I remove my fid. Now there's a couple ways to do this. At this point you can either tie a knot like that on the cover tail, or you can get another fid, stick it through the rope, because we are going to milk the core back down to the end to expose this mark. So we're going to attach the core to the fid now. We're going to enter it at mark A. And the easiest way to do that is holding it between your fingers and bunching it up, and the fid will just go right in. So it's easy to get the rope to the point here. When you get here, it's easy to grab. The core is still in there. We have to get past the core to that mark, and that's where we're going to exit. To do that, if you pull out core, it makes this more room in here. So you'll notice I exited here. Now, you want to check and make sure your fid hasn't grabbed any of this core, which is easy to do. So once you know that you have it, you can pull the remaining core out. So essentially the splice part, we've completed the hard part. Now as I pull the core into the cover, we get this area called the crossover. And I pull on the cover and I pull on the core at the same time, which makes the crossover tight. So now, looking at from what we got now, we have the core exiting here, the core's going into the cover's going into the core and exiting here. Now we're going to take the cover and we're going to cut this tape off. And that's why you made the baseline mark at the beginning, so we don't have to go ahead and try to unravel that tape, because that would be just a mess. So what you can do is you can remove alternating S and Z strands for a nice long taper, or you can do this. Just unravel the rope. So we're unraveling the covers, and I'm taking some scissors and I'm cutting along the length to make a nice long taper. I'm going back to the crossover where the cover goes into the core and the core goes into the cover, and I'm milking the cover. Now we have to hold the crossover, and see this little bit of slack here we have in the cover? We have to milk that down to where the standing part. We want all the slack out of there. So once we are sure there's no slack from here to here, and we've milked all the core, we can grab it, pull it out. Now you can mark it, or you can just cut it right there. Now we taper using the same method as before. Now we go back to the crossover, we milk the slack back, and watch as the core disappears in the standing part. Okay, so the only thing left to do is to get all this material back up inside here. Alright, so I've anchored the eye to an anchor point, and now you'll notice as I hold the crossover and I put tension, the core just wants to go in there. And as I'm milking the slack and the cover back down, the core just goes on in there. Now it works better if you're putting tension here and you're milking at the same time. Notice I still got to get all that in there, which is not that big a deal. You can, if it gets too bunched up, you can always pull it back out and start over. What's happening is your crossover is just getting bunched up. So this is kind of the patience part here. Work it, massage it. It's gotten a lot softer already. Now I can shove more material in there. And there it goes. It's gone in there. You'll notice how I was able to pull the core back out every time. If you lock stitch it, that will prevent that. Let's run some thread and turn 90 degrees. Go back the other direction. The finished splice. Alright, I'm David, and this was double braid splicing, and I'll be here all day.